She was definitely asleep at the wheel. And my first thought was, what's going to happen? I mean, we're right beside her, first of all, and that road was so busy.
Kurt says the moose then tried a shorter section of fencing behind the pool shed, got turned around, and slipped back into the pool for a second time.
It's not just about Google reviews and how good the food is, it's also like how good the washroom is too. That's also important as well.
You are listening to Keep Canada Weird.
Handsome Aaron Airport. We're back to do this again. This will be our 221st episode of Keep Canada Weird, our weekly weird news roundup, in which we, as the name suggests, round up and review all the week's interesting, offbeat, unusual, and amazing Canadian news. But before we do any of that, how are you doing over there, my friend?
I'm doing really good. I had a very busy day today.
Oh.
Well, I had my usual work. I was at the office working, doing things.
Pushing papers, right?
Yeah, and then after that, I went and helped my mom with some yard work. She had some mowing and some weed whacking and some, I guess you'd call it mulching, something to that effect for her plants in her yard. So
for all the people out there who say Handsome Aaron Airport's a prick, chew on that. He helps people. He helps his mother, for God's sakes. Give this guy a break.
Yeah, because I know 95 to 98% of you think I'm a prick. Oh, my cat is just...
They think you're a mess is what they think. We got to get into it here. It's episode 221. I've been trying to do all I can to celebrate the numbers of each of these episodes. This is the first time I'm literally stumped. I could find not one interesting thing about the number 221. There's no North American area code, 221. The only thing I could find is a country code for a place called Senegal in West Africa.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to leave the United States for a little while, even for a short while, because all these area codes that you've been talking about all these weeks have always been in the United States. But now this is one that is outside of there. So that is quite refreshing. But you know what also is refreshing? Is a special drink.
Good segue. You're doing a great job of just naturally moving us out of the numbers segment. So yeah, let's get into the special drinks. I think I went first last time, or did you? Or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, and it's not a competition, and it doesn't matter who goes first. It doesn't matter who goes second, because both drinks will be equally special, I think. So I'll go first.
Sure.
I have no problem doing that. But this is one that I have had once before, but it's been a while. So I do declare that it is still special. It is a Canada Dry Strawberry Lemonade Ginger Ale.
Absolutely special. There's nothing wrong with some flavored ginger ale. Only issue I have with that is it's in a plastic container. I'd much rather a glass bottle or an aluminum can, because instead of getting a snap or a crack when you open that, what you're going to hear is just a soft thud. Go ahead and do it.
It'll be a nice little fizz.
Maybe. Do it right in front of the mic.
Yeah, here it comes.
Jeez, I ate my words. That sounded amazing.
Yeah,
Take a drink from me, bud. Let me watch this. Oh,
Smell
Aaron.
is...
Aaron, do you mind if I watch?
I don't mind. Yeah, no, I'd like you to watch. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it real slow.
Take a drink.
I can taste the strawberry, really pungent strawberry.
That was nice. Thank you for sharing that with me and with all the listeners of Keep Canada Weird. Let me show you what I got. I hit that same odd store in downtown Halifax that I found with a collection of unique and offbeat pops to go with our unique and offbeat Canadian news stories. What I have in my hand is a can of Dr. Pepper Black Cherry in an aluminum can. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. I got that special drink and I brushed over the numbers segment specifically because we're opening the show with a story that may be a game changer for someone very close to the show. Handsome Aaron Airport, you've had another podcast idea that you've been thinking about launching for quite some time now. It may pull you away from Keep Canada Weird when it happens because, like Dr. Pepper Cherry Pop, I'm sure your podcast is going to be a hit. Just tell everyone who's new to the show about the Dear John podcast.
Yeah, so I want to state for the record that I've had this idea all the way back in 2019.
That's right. When these people listening were in diapers, you were planning, Dear John.
Yeah, that's right. Or it could have been 2018. 2018 or 2019 is when I had this idea. It's called Dear John, where I go to someone's business or house, I interview them, I use their bathroom, and then I review their bathroom. So it's kind of a blend between the person, the bathroom, getting to know them, getting to know their facilities.
And probably kind of walking down the line of what about them makes that bathroom unique to them. And maybe you would get into like the stylistic choices in the bathroom and pull from information you got in that interview. Am I thinking correctly?
Yeah, and then just getting to know them as a person and interweaving it all together.
The reason I got you to explain, Dear John, you're talking about it, maybe inspired a copycat in Waterloo. That's not a podcast. It's a Facebook group. But my goodness, it sounds like it's got a little bit of the Dear John podcast DNA in it. Let me tell you about a Waterloo woman who's created a Facebook group called Flush and Tell.
When nature calls,
You know, a bathroom like this, I'm probably going to give like a 2 out of 5.
Amy Perry answers honestly. The mom of 2 is on a mission to review restrooms across Waterloo region.
I am the creator of the Flush and Tell Facebook group, Flush and Tell Waterloo region.
With more than 300 members in less than 3 months, Flush and Tell aims to do just that.
The rules are simple. You can snap a photo of the facility, but make sure it's clean, no people, and nothing they've left behind. Then post your review to the group so your feedback doesn't get flushed away. We really discourage photos of really gross toilets. No one needs to see that as they're just scrolling through their feed. They have a wonderful accessible bathroom that has gotten quite a bit of attention.
In my case, my son, he's afraid of hand dryers, right? He's autistic, and so he needs a hand towel. So anything with paper towels is really useful for me.
Peter Cheam posts in the group every few days. In his hunt for the best porcelain throne, he says he's also found community.
We could talk about which washrooms are autistic friendly and which are not, which ones are great for toilet paper and having change stations and being accessible.
As for Flush and Tell's future, members say they hope to feature every loo in the region of Waterloo and help people make informed decisions about where they take and do their business.
It's not just about Google reviews and how good the food is, it's also like how good the washroom is too. That's also important as well.
Just give me your first thoughts when you hear this.
Yeah, I agree with them. I know the idea is a stolen idea, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't think it's a great concept. It is.
It is. I think what it is they recognize it's a stolen idea. So they're taking it in a little bit of a different direction. It's not a podcast, it's a Facebook group, and it's not so much about the bathroom in the business. It seems like what they're really highlighting is the accessibility features. Is it, sensory friendly and all these sorts of things. So honestly, what I think is happening is they listened to the show, they took your idea, but put a unique enough spin on it that you probably don't have a legal case to go after them.
Well, I'm not looking to legally go after anybody, but I'm happy that the work is getting done, though, because knowing which bathrooms are good is important. And because there's a lot of things about public washrooms, because I don't like going to the bathroom when I'm out in public, preferably, perfect world, I'm using the bathroom only when I'm at home.
What do you think of Flush and Tell? Because I got to tell you, that is a damn good name.
It's a good name. Yeah, I'm not going to sit, again, they stole my idea, tweaked it, and came up with another good name. Yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from them. They're working hard there. I support what they're doing, even though it's totally stolen, totally my idea. 2018, 2019, we all know the history. We don't have to revisit this over and over again, but it is the truth, and we're here to tell the truth here on Keep Canada Weird. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to telling the truth. We got quite a few stories we got to get into. Let's take our first break. When we get back, we have a couple stories that involve driving vehicles. After a short break, we're going to hear about 3 people who kept Canada weird in cars. Handsome Aaron Airport. Here on Keep Canada Weird, we've been very supportive of Canada and the world's seniors. Most often that support came in the form of enjoying the little things, like ice cream. I don't know if we're going to appreciate this next story. It involves a 71-year-old man in Winnipeg who wasn't doing anything sweet and innocent like eating ice cream. He's been charged for robbing a bank and fleeing the scene in all things a taxi cab. Here's the story of the wild senior of Winnipeg.
A Winnipeg senior has been arrested after allegedly robbing a bank in the Sturgeon Creek area. Police say the robbery happened on Monday at around 10:30 in the morning at a bank in the 3200 block of Portage Avenue. There are a number of financial institutions in the area, and authorities have not specified exactly which was the target of the robbery. Police allege the man went into the bank and passed a note to a staff member containing demands. It included a threat that he was armed. He received property and then fled from the area in a taxi. The man was found a short time later at a business in the 1900 block, also on Portage Avenue, and was arrested without incident. He has been charged with armed robbery and possession of fentanyl and was detained in custody. The charges have not yet been proven in court.
I want to start with a few things on this one. In that story, I think that news story is largely coming from a police press release about the incident. Why do they say, he passed a note demanding something and making threats and received an amount of property? He robbed a bank. Could they not just say he received money? Like, we all know what it is. Why call it property?
I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't just money. Maybe he asked for something else.
Give me all the pens and stuff you have at the desks that people sign with. What else would you get from the bank other than money?
Give me some checkbooks.
A ton of the envelopes from the debit machines, boxes of them.
Maybe it was the wallets of people who were working there.
Okay, damn it. You're right. It could very well be that. Give me the cash and everyone's wallets so I can do stuff with your credit
Give
cards.
me all your fentanyl now.
That could very well be. If anyone here has serious pain and is prescribed fentanyl. He flees the scene in a taxi cab, which seems like a very unpredictable and unreliable getaway vehicle. He then goes to some business. I'm assuming that business is one that he went to spend the money, perhaps? Because why else? Like, if you rob a bank, get out of there. Don't, go run errands on the way home. I can only imagine he took that money to a gambling or a liquor store or something like that. Does that make sense?
I mean, he could be forgetful. He is a senior. So maybe he robbed the bank, got into the taxi. Halfway there, he forgets that he robbed the bank. And then he shows up and just starts going about his day.
Yeah, or realizes I don't have cream at home and I have coffee, and when I have coffee in the morning, I need my cream. That happens to me a lot. Like, if I'm running an unexpected errand in the evening, oftentimes it relates to me not having milk or me not having cream. That's something that gets me out of the house. Right. I love coffee and I need it in the morning, but I can't drink it without cream. It's a weird thing. Let me ask you this question, though, about this story. Is 71 years old too old to be robbing a bank with a pocket full of fentanyl?
I don't think so. 71, you can be a very sprite, youthful, energetic, capable 71-year-old that can rob a bank. We just saw it here. The biggest issue was after he robbed the bank. He didn't really tie up his loose ends well enough there, getting a taxi. Not having a really good getaway plan was this senior's issue. So,
yeah. Did we not cover a story where someone robbed a bank and fled on a bike? And I believe that story had a very different ending, and the ending was they didn't get the guy.
Yeah, but maybe the senior has mobility issues. We don't know. We haven't met him. We haven't seen pictures of him. We haven't seen footage of him in action. So I don't know. It's a lot of questions certainly left on the table here for us to figure out. Maybe there'll be an update at some point in time and we'll have a bit more than just a few words from a press release.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if we'll have an update on this one, and I don't know if there's much more to the story. I have a feeling the more we learned about the 71-year-old who robbed the bank with the fentanyl, the sadder and the darker that story will get. So let's do this shallow of a dive into this story and move on to another weird Canadian news story that involves people being weird in cars. And this one is different. I promise this is a weird one. Let me set the scene for you. A family's driving along Highway 1 in rural British Columbia when they spot something unusual. There's a black car cruising down the highway next to them. Inside there are 3 people, a woman driving and 2 children in the back seat. Not an odd sight. There's probably many cars like that on the highway, but this one was different because all 3 of them in that car were sound asleep, including the driver. Let me tell you the story about the woman sleeping in a Tesla on the Trans-Canada Highway.
She was definitely asleep at the wheel. My first thought was, what's going to happen? I mean, we're right beside her, first of all, and that road was so busy yesterday.
A shocking sight for Carly King and her family on Highway 1 between Revelstoke and Golden Sunday. A Tesla driver wearing sunglasses with her head slumped to the side, seemingly fast asleep at the wheel, with what appears to be 2 sleeping children in the car.
So it's just like, what? No way. What? No, she's actually asleep. And, maybe she was hurt or something like that.
But King says she quickly realized this was no medical emergency because the car was staying within the lines, indicating it was a self-driving vehicle.
We kind of kept our distance and hoped that nothing bad would happen. But I didn't know what to do.
King says her husband, who was driving, did not want to honk and risk startling the person at the wheel and possibly causing an accident, so they called RCMP.
The last thing he was going to do is put her family and my family and everybody else on the highway at risk. So I just left it in the capable hands of the RCMP.
Some people think that just because their car comes with a certain technology, they're free to use it. Of course, that's not the case. You have to be awake, alert, in control, a hand on the wheel.
But RCMP are investigating this weekend's highway incident, King hoping the driver is held accountable.
If it was thought out, then that's incredibly irresponsible.
Man, it's shocking. The video of that news clip, you see photos and video of this family asleep in the car. I couldn't imagine falling asleep even in a self-driving vehicle on a highway with my 2 kids in the back.
No, yeah.
So many things could go wrong.
It's scary, especially with kids involved, and knowing that this person is totally asleep. I would like to know if she decided to go to sleep or she fell asleep.
And I think that's what the woman in the news clip was getting at the end. Like, if this was a planned thing, she should be held accountable, because a planned thing meaning like, I'm going to stick it in automatic drive and we'll all just nap for a couple hours. We got a 7-hour drive. We'll let the car do its thing. That deserves the book thrown at it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're seeing this technology more and more built into cars where they're able to self-drive.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming. And this news story, like, it's shocking now for a lot of people, but this is on the horizon, like, as more and more self-driving cars come.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing it mostly now, like taxis and different places around the world are starting to incorporate self-driving vehicles into their fleets and having that as an option, and which I think will be great. The only thing that I would worry, I guess, about that is when there's no driver and somebody uses it, makes a mess in there, and then the next person gets it, there's nobody going to be able to alert the company that there's a mess in their vehicle because there's no driver. So it would have to be the next person that got it to report that the car was a mess on the inside. But certainly I'm very open to the idea of self-driving vehicles, and being driven around by robots all day sounds amazing.
I think it's a better possibility in areas that don't have like harsh winters like Canada does. Because my thing is, I wouldn't trust a self-driving vehicle like 5 months of the year, at least in Nova Scotia, because I don't know how that thing would handle icy roads and slippery stuff. And we have so much of that here. It's one thing in like California or Florida or something where the roads are in general maintained better just because they don't have the freeze and thaw cycle that we have in Canada, and there's no ice and stuff on the roads.
Yeah, no, it's a good point as well. I'm not sure how they would do in in those type of road conditions. So these are all, we're both bringing up really valid questions that these companies need to answer.
I hope the people at Tesla are listening in on this episode, because maybe we can help shape the vision. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Let's move on to another weird Canadian news story that involves driving from the past week. It's been a weird week for driving, it seems. This one is going to take us right to your backyard. A story out of Cape Breton. We always enjoy this. This is very similar to the woman asleep in the Tesla, except instead of like a random driver spotting someone doing something foolish in a car, this one involves the police. An RCMP officer was driving on Highway 105 in Nova Scotia when they spotted an unusual sight. A Mazda 3 traveling at 100 kilometers an hour with a man sitting in the back of the open hatchback, legs dangling out with a camera in his hand, assumedly making some kind of social media content or an attempt at some viral video. Here's the story of the hatchback dangling filmer in Cape Breton.
Nova Scotia RCMP have shared stunning video from Cape Breton's Victoria County, which has resulted in 2 tickets being issued under the Motor Vehicle Act. Police say a 25-year-old Moncton man has been ticketed for riding in a part of a vehicle that is not designed for passengers, while the 21-year-old driver from Hubbard's was ticketed for allowing it to happen. It happened on Highway 105 near Bedeque last Saturday afternoon. According to RCMP, the 25-year-old was strapped in the back of the open hatchback with an improvised restraint, filming a vehicle behind them while traveling at approximately 100 kilometers per hour.
An improvised restraint is a fancy word for homemade seatbelt. And a homemade seatbelt doesn't seem like the kind of thing you want holding you in when you're hanging out of a hatchback going 100 kilometers an hour in rural Cape Breton.
Yeah, I assume they were filming something for social media, something for TikTok, whatever it is, trying to do what other people are always trying to do, putting themselves in these crazy, dangerous situations, just trying to make content that's going to get people to like and share and subscribe and click and all of the things that set off all the chemicals in their brain that make them feel good. But they're getting up to, the bar has to be risen all the time, over and over and over again.
That's the problem. With that being said, we should take a moment to shout out everyone listening and encourage them to go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate The Canadian Gothic and Keep Canada Weird 5 out of 5 stars, so Aaron and I aren't motivated or encouraged or forced, for God's sakes, to dangle out of cars on a highway. This story in particular, though, I think there's one caveat to it that is kind of missed in this news report and in the press releases. Is it seems like what they're doing is there's other people involved. So there's 2 people who got tickets: the guy dangling out of the hatchback that's filming and the person driving. Neither of those people are even from Cape Breton. It said one was from Hubbard's, which is outside of Halifax, and the other I think was from New Brunswick. But they were filming a car behind them. So the car behind them is involved in this. It's almost like they were making some kind of like car commercial or something. And they were doing it in Cape Breton, which we both will agree is like the most beautiful place on earth. So I think these people came from somewhere else to Cape Breton to exploit its beauty by doing this stunt. Did the RCMP not stop the car that was being filmed? Because what if it was just someone who hired these kids to follow them around and film them in this precarious position? Like, I think someone's getting away with something here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there could be a number of possibilities, but it does remind me of, in the 80s, those old station wagons. And we would ride in the back of those all the time without seatbelts. Now, we didn't have the hatch up or anything like that, but those old station wagons, they almost had looked like they had wood paneling on them.
But when you say ride in the back, do you mean in the back seat or like in the trunk or?
In the trunk part, yeah, like in the hatchback part.
With the trunk closed?
Yes.
So you would lay down in the trunk, someone would shut the trunk, and you would get driven places.
Yeah, but it was like a big trunk. You could sit back there comfortably and lots of space. You remember those
Oh yeah,
old station wagons from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I got you now. I was in my head picturing the trunk open and you're dangling out and stuff. I was saying you're crazy.
No.
Yeah. So I presented a trio of stories, of weird stories about driving. Was that a good segment? We've never done specifically driving before. We've done tires, of course, not driving. Is that all right?
Yeah, no, I think it was great. It was enjoyable, like a nice country drive on a warm Sunday afternoon.
Let's take our second and final break. When we get back, we're going to catch up on some listener voicemail regarding a specific topic we talked about last week. And then we're going to hear a duo of What the F stories, which are the stories that just don't fit any theme, but are unique offbeat Canadian news from the past week nonetheless. After a quick break, we're going to hear some stories about that Mark Carney fake scam ad thing on Facebook. Handsome Aaron Airport. In episode 220 of Keep Canada Weird, we covered the story of the woman who fell for a Mark Carney deepfake ad on Facebook that turned out to be a scam and ended up costing her just under $1 million. I think the number used in the clip last week was about $900,000. That led us to talk about who should be shutting down these fake ads that are all over social media, and you and I both pointed the blame directly at the platforms themselves, such as Meta's Facebook. We have some listeners who want to chime in on that topic, and I want to play those now. Let's hear from Bob, who wants to share his story. He's in Newfoundland. He wants to share his story of reporting one such scam.
I'm just listening to your episode talking about the fake ads on Facebook, and I did see an ad a while back regarding Prime Minister Carney, and another one was Prince Philip. In both cases, I reported them as, a bad ad, and in both cases, it came back and says the ads did not contravene their rules. So, what are we to do in a case like that?
Bob makes a really good point, and I wanted to play that ad specifically because I've had that exact same experience as him. I've seen like nonsense fake ads that are clearly like AI, deep fake type scam stuff. One in particular was like a fake CBC article that was all this random Bitcoin stuff. And if you click the link to read the CBC article, it just takes you to some weird Bitcoin platform. I reported that ad, and just like Bob, I got like a message a couple days later saying they didn't remove it.
And yeah, it's overwhelming to the point where I don't believe anything that anybody tries to get me to do, say, or give them on anything.
That's probably a good approach. Let's see if you believe this next story. We're going to get into our final two stories. They're both big what the F stories. This one you may not believe. A North Bay, Ontario family woke up at 4 a.m. this past Saturday morning to the sounds of splashing coming from their backyard pool. Initially, they thought some teenagers may have hopped their fence, but instead, they found something even more surprising than that. A young moose was swimming in the deep end of their pool, and that's only the start of this 18-hour saga. Here comes the story of the moose who fell 3 times into 2 pools.
Trying to get out.
Kurt Blaschek and his wife Abby were awoken suddenly early last Saturday to a loud splash. An unexpected guest was taking a dip in their pool.
We actually had a bear in our yard about a month ago, so I thought maybe it was that, but you could kind of see in the early morning light it was much larger.
A young moose, more than likely confused at her surroundings, had fallen in and was struggling to swim. Kurt says he rushed out to try to entice the animal to the shallow area.
Good job, Kurt!
But once free, the animal took a wrong turn and got stuck in a wooded section of the backyard, where it banged its body against the fence trying to escape. Kurt says the moose then tried a shorter section of fencing behind the pool shed, got turned around, and slipped back into the pool for a second time.
Got herself unstuck, kind of just almost hid behind this net. There's a golf net there, hid behind the net. We rested for a couple hours.
The Blascheks called the Ministry of Natural Resources, and firefighters assisted in trying to tranquilize and remove the animal. But the young moose didn't give up without a fight, at one point charging towards them.
I had a gazebo right here, like almost a little sniper's nest where they were setting up for the clean shot with the dart gun.
But they were unsuccessful. During the chaos, the animal broke through the fence only to end up in the neighbor's pool where it got trapped in a solar blanket before exiting through a gate.
Friend a block or two away said, get your moose under control because he was out in front of his yard.
The moose ran off to a nearby street before coming to a stop at the ski hill completely exhausted. The MNR stayed with the animal to monitor its injuries. When they returned the next morning, the moose had already left, likely through a trail behind the ski hill.
After 8 hours in my yard, kind of getting attached to it a little bit, I almost named her.
The blast checks say the whole ordeal lasted about 15 hours. Their pool liner ended up getting damaged and had to be removed. The family has been in touch with their insurance company, but they're relieved the moose was relatively unharmed. And now they have a story that's
very uniquely Canadian, I think, in a lot of ways.
Damn, they think they got a good story. Imagine the story this moose tells.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to believe the water.
Yeah. What terrible luck. So he falls in their pool twice, and then he escapes into the neighbor's yard, and they happen to have a pool as well.
Yeah. It sounds like a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, seriously. But are you surprised it ended as well as it ended? Did it end well? It took them 18 hours, and it does seem like the moose just found its way out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it ended well. Moose are very powerful, dominant animals. So in terms of all of the things that could go wrong in this situation, when trying to wrangle a moose and get it out of there safely, I thought they went through the right steps. They called the authorities. They got connected with the right people who could come down and handle this situation professionally. And yeah, it took some maneuvering, but they got the job done.
But did they? That's the thing. The moose fell in the main pool twice, got out, got into the neighbor's yard, fell in that pool, eventually gets out of that pool, and then just kind of wanders off. There was a part of the story where we heard that they were like from a gazebo using dart guns, like from a sniper nest. Did shooting tranquilizers at the moose have any role in any of this? Because to me, it does seem like the moose just got so tired that it kind of gave up and walked out of there. Nowhere in the clip did it explain any intervention other than shooting it with a dart.
They did call them, and they were there.
Yeah, that's true.
We do know that. And the moose did get out successfully.
No one got killed other than a pool liner.
Yeah, the pool got shredded a little bit, but if that's the only issue, then hopefully their insurance covers the whole thing.
Yeah, insurance isn't great with pools, though. I'll tell you that from experience. That it's finicky with how it handles pools, and it is very expensive to replace a vinyl liner, like the plastic liner that's in a pool, and that's what this has. In all these news clips, the homeowner is standing in front of his pool, which is empty, drained of water, because they had to drain the water to get the ripped pool liner out. So it's going to be a lot more expensive, I think, to repair this than you'd think. But either way, they're lucky. If you have any kind of battle with a moose in your backyard, if you come out of it unscathed, you're doing well. So I think they're doing all right. So I set that story up with saying, like, Handsome Air Airport, this is so crazy. Will you believe it? You do believe that this is a real story that was in the news, or?
Yeah, I believe it.
You don't have any doubts about the moose in the pool and 2 pools, 3 falls. You think this is cool?
Yeah, it looks on the up and up to me. Why? Is it not? Or
I think it's fine. But this next story, I don't believe. This next story came from a correspondent named Handsome Air Airport. And I'm fully convinced that all of the elements in this story could only be created by you. I feel that you've partnered with a major news source in Canada to create a sort of fan fiction Keep Canada Weird story, specifically to play it on this show and react to it. As I listen to this news clip, I can think of the only reality that this takes place in is in your mind. So let me introduce it this way. In Victoria, British Columbia, there's a tree that arches over a sidewalk and creates a sort of private area. It's become known locally as the kissing tree. It's a nice story, but the more I listen to this clip, the more I feel Handsome Air Airport created it.
While walking home the other night, Bonnie Riley noticed a couple kissing under her tree.
And they went, "Oh, is it all right?"
And Bonnie said, "Of course."
"Oh, yes, it's the kissing tree."
which made the couple smile, because after months of carrying around a ring, he just happened to find this perfect place to propose.
And she went, I just got engaged.
Well, this other couple got married years ago.
When you're under that tree, the rest of the world doesn't exist.
Teresa and Robert have stopped to kiss under the tree countless hundreds of times.
It's
like a little
place.
magical tree.
And it's not just for couples. Kids make wishes here, and moms bring their babies.
Everything is good here.
But to appreciate the roots of the kissing tree, you have to meet Brian from the Bronx.
Everybody goes crazy for the tree.
We first met Brian a decade ago when he told us about that day he took a wrong turn, got stuck in a crowd waiting for a Rolling Stones concert, and when they started rioting, Brian had to protect himself with a tape recorder he had in his car.
I wasn't recording on purpose. It was just I had the mic in my hand, and when I had my arm up like this, I was asking him why he was hitting me.
And that recording was quoted on TV and in this paper, an incident so unsettling, Brian left the U.S., moved to B.C., and befriended Bonnie.
He said, I don't want to date you, I want to marry you. It felt amazing and wonderful because I had fallen in love with him.
So she said yes, then they both said I do, before making a home together here and dubbing this the kissing tree.
Oh, probably daily. Daily kisses.
And then they'd both feel gratitude for that one bad day down there that turned into 38 wonderful years under here.
It changed my entire life.
Although Brian died a few years ago, Bonnie's ensuring their legacy of love lives on by maintaining the kissing tree for others.
If people can come here and have an aha moment, isn't that wonderful? Wouldn't you like to do that for everyone?
Yeah. Daily kisses. There's some moments in that clip where you only catch it for a moment. It's when the interviewer is talking to the participants in this clip. You just catch the very end of his questions and stuff, and then you hear their answers. But at one point when she says, like, we kiss every day, he's like, daily kisses?
Probably daily. Daily kisses.
He's losing his mind. It's like she's building him up, like every detail of the kissing tree that she tells him. He's like, really? And then what? And then we go under it and we look up at the lights and it's so special. Oh, and then what? And then he kisses me every day. Daily kisses.
Daily kisses.
This news story, it's a slow news story, but it's an amazing story. It's got that like small town charm. It's this local landmark that the people of this probably not community, but probably like neighborhood maybe know about and stop and kiss there. It has this amazing backstory, which to me there's way more to that. So there's a guy in the U.S. who goes to a Rolling Stones concert. In the middle of getting beat up, he takes a recorder out of his car and defends himself with it while recording. He was maybe just recording the concert or something, and he didn't want to say that, so he's like mentioned that he pulled it out of his car. There's no way he pulled that thing out of his car. But anyway, this getting beat up while defending himself with a recorder at a Rolling Stones concert leads to him coming to Canada, meeting this woman, falling in love, kissing under this tree daily for years to the delight of this interviewer.
Daily kisses.
But then the other part of this is it's like a sad ending. He passes away at the time this article comes out. So I think what's happened is the clips we hear of him talking about the Rolling Stones concert are from like a past news report like 10 years ago or something.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what's happening there. Yeah, no, it's really 2 or 3 stories kind of sandwiched in together underneath the kissing tree. And for the listeners at home who can't see this tree, it is quite enchanting and magical looking. It almost looks like a dome of leaves and branches that are kind of hanging down to the front of this yard where the sidewalk meets. And when you walk underneath it, it does kind of have this fairy tale aspect about it. There's even lights that they have hung up in the branches. So it is really a perfect spot for daily kisses.
It is. I don't know the genre or the breed of tree. I don't know what the right word is for that. But to me, I would say it looks like something like maybe like a weeping willow, where it's the type of tree where all the branches kind of like hang down and create like a little like shelter underneath it. And it seems like maybe, I don't know if it was cut to be this way, but it does have a little kind of cabin underneath it. Enough that you could probably have 5 people, well, I guess 6 people kissing under there comfortably.
Kissing each other?
Yeah.
Like a free-for-all?
Yeah, just like a wild kissing party underneath this tree. And it would be, I think it seems like the lady who owns the property with this tree would be fine with that. I guess the legacy, her husband, who's passed away years before this article was published, the legacy he left behind is a nice spot to kiss daily. And that's sweet.
Well, are you suggesting that they change the name from kissing tree to orgy tree? 'Cause that's kind of what you're getting into here.
No, I don't think they need to push it any further. But I think whether it's like, are 6 people kissing? Does that go from kissing to orgy?
If they're just kissing with their clothes on, it's definitely how an orgy starts.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. Like, if the people want to then go somewhere else and take it further, that's fine. I think this tree is a special place. Keep it at kissing there, and what you do after you leave the tree, I don't think that has anything to do with this news clip or anything to do with our discussion tonight. We're talking about a kissing tree, not the people who kiss at the tree and then head to the casino and then the hotel.
Well, so you're suggesting then that this is where you make orgy connections. You meet people to have orgies with. You sample under the tree. Oh, it feels pretty good. Let's all orgy together. And then go to the casino first, obviously. That's what you said. And have a meal, have a roast beef. Maybe there's a buffet on. And then go up to the hotel and complete the orgy.
Maybe. I think if they want to do that, that's fine. I think there's way worse stuff that could be happening under this tree than kissing or the planning or making connections for orgies. Because when I saw this tree and I heard in the news clip, it's talking about the kissing, which is all fine. But they do say, like, when kids go under here and people push their babies under here. And I'm only assuming teenagers too go under that tree. And what I know about bad people and teenagers on this planet is if there's anywhere that they have any kind of like privacy whatsoever, they seem to get up to no good. And I have a feeling that if you got in a casual conversation with the lady who owns this tree, she could also tell you the dark side of all the antisocial things that go on in the kissing tree other than kissing. I guarantee there's been dope smoked in there.
Oh my God. You are really peeling back the layers and getting into the darkness of society here with orgies and dope smoking and rock and roll and
all of that stuff happens in this tree. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
If she wants to whitewash this tree and call it the kissing tree, she's not fooling me. She may fool the news reporter who is just so awestruck by daily kisses, not me.
So maybe she needs to set, what she needs to do, and this would actually be a nice passive source of income for her. Is she set?
Oh my God!
She sets
the voyeuristic kissing tree. Is this what we're getting into?
She sets up a camera under the kissing tree, and you can pay a monthly subscription on her website. Maybe it's an only tree site, or maybe it's whatever. You go on, you pay your monthly fee, and you get to watch the live kissing tree feed.
Yeah, and didn't you mention they had like lights hung up underneath it? You don't need lights to kiss under a tree, but you do need lights to film people kissing under a tree.
Yeah, I agree. That's something that you would want, especially at nighttime. And then maybe she could, if you subscribe, like for say a full year, you get coupons to the casino.
Okay.
Are we done or?
No, I think we're good. I think, I think this was a great story, but I do think that the kissing tree, honestly, if I was like, Aaron, come up with a fake story, this is the kind of crap you'd come up with.
Crap? What do you mean crap? This is gold, man. This is good stuff. You want stories. I got them.
I do love this story. I am going to say it was the story of the night. I was considering putting this at the very front of the episode until I heard about the flush and tell story. So I wanted to bookend it with Handsome Aaron Airport-centric stories. I think the Flush and Tell story and the Kissing Tree story are very much stories from your wheelhouse.
I'd like to see a banning tree where I sit under it 24/7 and people just come in to get banned.
Yeah, like get out from underneath my tree.
You're banned.
Kiss me or get out.
You're banned from kissing. Out. Get out of here.
We've been through a lot tonight. There's no banning tree just yet. We should put a bow on this, but before I do, I want to say something here. Last week at the end of the episode, I said if anyone out there feels generous, go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and send me a voicemail saying things like, this week on Keep Canada Weird, after a short break, or Keep Canada Weird, we'll be back after this short break. And thank you for keeping Canada weird. I've heard from so many listeners with their responses to it. I love it. I'm going to be using all of them. But for anyone from this point on that sends one of those voicemails, I think what will level it up is say your name, where you're from, and then the message. So this is Jordan from Halifax. Thank you for keeping Canada weird.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
This is Jordan from Halifax, and Keep Canada Weird will be back after this short break. I just think that would level it up.
This is Aaron Airport from the Kissing Tree. You're banned.
Anyway, but keep those voicemails coming. We're working on a mailbag. We have probably 85 voicemails, so we may have the most epic mailbag you've ever heard right around the corner, but it's coming. But let's put a bow on this. We've done all the weird news we can handle for one night. Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan, bus stop, backhoe, numbers, toilets, Bonaparte.
I had a pool growing up when I was a kid in Cape Breton. Never had an animal fall in the pool that survived. We had lots of small animals, and that's a whole darker story that I don't even want to get into. But I will quickly tell you the story about the time a literal bald eagle flew towards my pool. It hit the picket fence and got stuck between two pickets. It survived. And my dad and I, when I was like 8 years old, had to go out there as the bald eagle was like flapping and freaking out. And we had to like break the pickets off so the friggin' animal could get out of there. And it survived. My dad called like the forestry people. They wanted nothing to do with it. They were like, yeah, we'll be there, but it's going to take like a day and a half or something before we get there. So my dad and I went out there and took care of business. Congratulate me. I'm a goddamn hero.
That should have been earlier in the show. That's wonderful. It's a great story. It sounds fake to me, but, you know, that's okay. But Jordan, until next time, I look forward to meeting you under the Keep Canada Weird tree for daily stories and daily kisses.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. Now, if any one of you listening want to get more involved in what we're doing, we need all the correspondence we can get. So if something weird happens in your area, or if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed tonight, let us know about it. The best way to reach us is by using the voice recorder that can be found at thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up the episode, but before we part, let us thank a few people. First of all, Aaron and I want to give a big thank you to all the correspondents who contributed to this episode. If your voice message was aired on the show, go back to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and fill out the form to claim your swag pack and Keep Canada Weird badge. We'll happily get it right out to you. Next, a big shout out to Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data, who provides the outro version of O Canada that you're about to hear. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a massive thank you to every one of you listening, as without your interest and your support, this work would be impossible. And for any one of you out there who want to support the show financially and get more out of the show at the same time, please consider the premium feed. Our premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes. But the premium feed will also give you those episodes early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a full back catalog of Keep Canada Weird episodes and bonuses. You can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if the premium feed isn't for you, you can still support the show by simply sharing episodes on social media. That's free, and it's a big help. So until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and please keep Canada weird.
Thank you for keeping Canada weird.
Let me be clear. Canada is very weird.
But I want to thank you. I would like to thank you for keeping Canada weird. May God bless you. And may God bless the provinces of Canada.